I do want to show you one more, and this one is for a yearly thing that you might want to do. You decide to open a Christmas Club account at a bank, and a Christmas Club account is where you put away money every month, and then at Christmas they give you a big chunk of money out, and you have a bunch of money to spend for Christmas. And you could do it for a vacation club or things like that too. So you just pay a little bit every month, and then you have all the money you need when the time comes around for Christmas or your vacation. So you decide to open one of these accounts at a bank that pays 6% annual interest compounded monthly. You deposit $100 on the 1st of January and on the 1st of each succeeding month through November. How much will you have in your account on the 1st of December? So it looks like we're putting money in on the 1st of every month, and on the 1st of December we're not putting in any money because it says we're stopping on the 1st of November, because the 1st of December we want to take all that money out and go spend it, right? So our time would be a year, but we're not depositing on the 1st of December, so we're going to have 11 out of the 12 months that we made a deposit into this account. And then my last deposit was on the 1st of November, and I'm not taking the money out until the 1st of December, so I do have a full month's interest on that last payment. So I am going to need to use the capital P times the 1 plus little p for my L for this problem. Okay, what else do we know? We know that our big P, our payment in this case, is going to be $100. And we know we get 6% interest, so my rate is 0.06. And we know it's compounded monthly, so that means my N should be a 12. And I think I have all the variables, so let's write out the formula. So it's F equals L times the quantity, big quantity, 1 plus little p raised to the capital T minus 1 over the little p. And I believe we have everything. Now we need to calculate our little p. That's going to be the R over N, so in this case 0.06 over 12 for the N, and then my capital T I want to calculate as well. And I can think about it, how many payments am I going to be making? So it's going to be 11 payments, right? One for every month except for December. So I expect my big T to come out to 11. And I want to show you the actual calculation so you can see it both ways. So we have N times T. My N is 12. And my T is 11 over 12. And when we multiply those, remember the 12s cancel, and I will get 11. And that's the number I expected. That's why I had to use something funky for my little t, so that my big time, the number of payments I was going to make, would come out correctly to the 11 payments that I know I was going to make. Okay, let's plug things in. We have F equals, my L, remember I have to use the P, I'll write it up here just one time, 1 plus little p instead of the L. And so my big P is going to be the $100 that I pay per month, 1 plus, I didn't calculate that little p, let's check and see what that comes to. I'll use this calculator this time. So I have 0.06 divided by 12, and that one comes to 0.005. So I can write that in right there and here as well. Now if that was a long decimal, and sometimes you will get a long decimal, I'm going to show you what you should do with that. So you would want to store this in one of your bins. So I'm going to store this in bin 1 for this calculator, and I'll just write it up here. I'll show you that in just a second. Just for now, know it'll be in bin 1. And then I have 1 plus 0.005, and I'm going to show that'll be in bin 1 again, raised to the big T, which is 11, minus 1 over that 0.005, and that'll be in bin 1 as well. Okay, So there's all my initial and my formula. Now where I put bin 1, what I'm talking about there is I'm going to store something into a bin on my calculator. So for this number, I want to store it in bin 1. This calculator has the numbers 1 through 5 or 6 that you can store things in. So I'll just say store, use this store button, store in bin 1. And that's what I'm talking about there. Now if I was using a calculator like this one, remember I would have the 0.06 divided by 12. I get the 0.005. And then for this one I want to store, and I'll press this one time to store it in X, and then I'll push enter, and it's going to store that value in the X bin for this calculator. So if I was doing that for this calculator, I might put on my problem, actually, see where it is, I would put the X instead of the 1. So I might put X on all of those. Okay, and remember my other calculator. Here it is. This one has, whoops, let's start over here, 0.06 divided by 12. Get the 0.005, and then you do store, and then it gives you your choice, A, B, C, whatever. I'll put that one in A, and I push enter, and now that's stored in A. So for this calculator, I would write A for all those little circle spots wherever I wanted the little P. If it comes out to a decimal that goes on, and I don't want to lose any precision, which you really don't want to lose any precision on these problems, then I would use store. So in that situation, you'll want to use the store button. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is see what I can simplify here. I have F equals 100, and then I have 1 plus 0.005, which I can actually take that and add those two together. And since I'm not using the P anywhere specifically, I might just want to store this in bin 1 instead, because, oh no, I do use the P somewhere, never mind that. I might want to store this in bin 2. So I probably would want to store this because it would be a long decimal in bin 2 or in bin Y. And then multiplied times the quantity, again, this will be bin 2 or bin Y, and raised to the 11th power minus 1 over, and this is in bin 1. So I'm just starting, originally I write all the numbers in, and then when I'm doing calculations and I don't want to write out all the decimals, I'll just show which bin I have it stored in so that I can recall it easily and keep calculating. So I want to store this in bin 2, so I'll show you here. This one would be probably bin B. So I have recall I can do, remember, second store for this calculator, take that right out of bin A and add 1 to it, and then I want to store that in bin B. So I'm going to slide over to B and push enter, and it shows me I stored 1.005 in bin B. On this calculator, we have the 0.05 sitting there, so I say plus 1, and then I might just want to store that in bin 2. And then on this calculator, it's kind of funny at this point, I'm just going to add my answer plus 1, so I get the 1.005, and then I'll store it in X, no, because I already used that, and I'll push that button one more time and it'll say Y, and then I can push enter, so now that one's stored in bin Y. So I have it in my second bin on each of my calculators. Now I can do a little bit more calculations. I'll have to work inside here, so I have to do 2 to the 11th minus 1 and then divide by what I have in bin 1. So it's not the number 2, remember, it's what's stored in bin 2. So I will recall 2, and I get that 1.005 to the 11th, so that's this button on this calculator, to the 11th equals, and then I have to subtract 1, that's on my problem, and then I'm ready to divide by what's in bin 1, so I have to say recall 1, and there's my 0.005, and then enter. That's my whole amount from the big parentheses. So I'm just going to write this down. It is 1,127,916, and it goes on and on. And I have to check where those decimals are. It's right after the 11. So I'll put the decimal point in right there. And the next thing I need to do, as you can see, is multiply by this part that's in bin 2. So I remember that's in bin 2, so I have to multiply by it and then multiply by 100. So I can do that just times recall 2 equals times 100. So now I have my final answer here, so it's 113,355,6,237, and I can't tell where those decimals are. It's after the 3. So that's my F equals, and so what I would say for this one is that F equals 1,133.56. So if I deposit $100 every month for 11 months and I'm earning interest on my deposits, including my last deposit, I will have $1,133.56. And so I've gained like $133.56 in interest, because 11 times 100 would be 1,100, so, or $33.56. So quite a bit of money that I gained for just 1 year of depositing. Now I want to go backwards right to this point and show you the other two calculators. That's all I'm going to show in the remainder of this video. So if you happen to have that first calculator I showed, you can go ahead and end. If you want to see the other calculators, hang in there and I'll finish showing them. All right. So for this calculator, I need to start again. I have stored in my bin A and my bin B, I have those two things stored. So I need to, let me see if I can just show you with this eraser. So I need to take my second bin, which on this calculator is the B bin. So B to the 11th minus 1 divided by the A bin. So I'll do recall B, and then do to the, so that's this button, to the 11th equals, and then minus 1 equals, and now I'm ready to divide by what was in bin A. So divided by, and then I do recall, and there's bin A right away. I'll push enter, enter one more time, and now I have that 11.279166, etc. there. And now I just have to multiply by what's in bin 2. You can see I'm right here on this line now. I have this exact value. I need to multiply by what's in the second bin. In this case, it's the B bin. So times, and I'll have to do recall and slide over to B, and there's my 1.005. Push enter again, and then it'll calculate, and then times 100 equals, and there's that same value, $1,133.556237. It goes on, but it would round to the same value. Okay, that's that calculator. Let's look at this one now. So turn that one back on. Starting over again, right from this point, we need to take what's in the second bin, which was the Y bin in this case. Take the Y bin, raise it to the 11th, minus 1, and divide what's in the X bin. So starting there, so I take out, I'll do the recall, and I need to do the Y bin, so I can use my arrow key to move down to it. Push enter, that puts it into my register, and then I need to take it to the 11th power, so there's my to the key, to the 11th, enter, and then I have to subtract that 1 off right there, So -1, enter again, and then next thing divide by what's in that first bin or the X bin on this calculator. So divided by, and I have to do recall, and X is the first thing that comes up, so push enter. That puts it into my problem, my answer divided by the 0.005, push enter, and then you can see we got this 11.27916, etc. right there. And so next thing I need to do is multiply by that second bin, or it's the Y bin in this case, and then by 100. So we're going to take this answer that we have times the second bin, so we'll say times, and then recall, and go down. I want the second bin, push enter, so there it is multiplied by that. We can just put the times 100 on there too and have it multiply all three of them at once. Push enter, and there I have $1,133, and if I round it, 56 cents.